Hello, my name is Julian Docks. I am from the city of Chicago. I'm a serial entrepreneur and author. So I am the author of Disruptive Change. It's a part of what I call the Futurist Series. So it's a work that's focused on the future, particularly as it pertains to millennials and how the world is developing politically, economically, socially, and how millennials will be affected given the changes that are taking place in the world. The journey kind of goes back all the way to high school. So I had a summer, and it was a particularly bad summer for me, right? So just socially, I had some personal things going through my life that were really bad at the time. And I had the fortune of just having that summer to travel and to take some time. I found a bookstore, and that's where I just spent a whole bunch of my time. For some reason, I got really curious about the world. I wanted to learn how the world worked, as opposed to just what was said on TV or what my parents may have told me. I wanted to find out for myself, right? So I read everything that they told you to read, everything that they told you not to read. I knew that at some point in time I wanted to write a book. I wanted to do something, at least have something to say that was worthwhile, that could actually be beneficial to people. And it was just a matter of when that time was, right? So came upon a personal crisis and chose that as an opportunity to take advantage of it and to make a leap, right? So I made a leap into starting my first business, a startup, and started writing a book as well at the same time. The startup project didn't work out. It was my first time going into business, which is okay. That's one of the things that I learned as well, is that failure is not a bad thing. Failure is actually a stepping stone to success. Mistakes. So there's a song that says lessons, I got plenty, rough roads I travel many. That's real. One of the things I think I didn't do was I jumped into something, right? So I had an idea. I talked to one person about, okay, do you think this is a good idea? They kind of gave me oh yeah, it has potential, blah, blah, blah. And it's okay, boom, all right, that's all I need. So I jumped right into it, right? Jumping right into it though, given that it was my first time in business, there was a lot of things that I did not understand about business, about the basics, right? And there were a lot of mistakes made. So one of the things was, I didn't go out and talk to my target market, right? So I didn't identify specifically from the beginning, okay, this is the distinct target market. I need to go out with them before I try and invest all this money, time, and energy into this idea. I need to go out there and talk to them first, and figure out what their needs are, what their hopes, dreams, and fears are, and actually solve a problem that they actually have. Okay, so the current project we're working on right now is really focusing on whether or not, on the relevancy of education in the 21st century, particularly for the next generation, on judging whether or not it's better for us to drop out of school or skip school altogether to pursue entrepreneurship, right? And we ask this because there's a very big problem that's very unique to us. So for example, the student debt clock says that about every second, the student debt goes up at least $3,000, right? And this is also given the fact that only about 27% of parents actually are paying for their kids' college education right now. So that means that has very significant long-term financial obligations for the next generation. And it's also important that we recognize this now, because in any economy, there's always ups and downs, right? And we are long overdue for a correction, right? So that means we can't do things traditionally the way we used to do them. Twice as many millennials have already started businesses as their parents, so someone recognizes the trend of the future. Now, a lot of obstacles that we tend to run into, especially as young people when we come into entrepreneurship, right, is not having the capital to do it, not having the mentorship, not having the experience, right? We don't really know what to do, right? But these obstacles can be overcome if we have the systems in place that other successful entrepreneurs use to get to where they want to get, right? Every entrepreneur has a certain standard of performance, habits that they fall back on when things get tough, when things get kind of crazy, that they use in order to move forward with their goals, to reassess their performance and get better each and every time. And it's about being able to instill those in the next generation of millennial entrepreneurs so they can be successful and actually travel the world or do what they want to do in their 20s and 30s without having to work for someone else, by earning a consistent income, doing what they want to do. Just talking to the millennials out there is just to don't be afraid to take risks. From risk, so like there's a saying that about safety and security, and that it doesn't exist in life, right? So if you really think about it, you're not getting out of life alive. Either way, how you do it, however you live your life, whether it's you do exactly what you were told by your parents, you don't like venture out. You don't take a leap, you don't try to overcome your fears, or if you do that, either ways, you still die out of it, right? So the best thing to do is to take advantage of that reality and to take risks, right? To become your best self. This is saying that risk cannot be avoided, so the best thing to do is to look at each path and to manage risk. You can find me on Twitter at @TheGreatDocks, and then our website is thefuturistseries.com. You can go there, see what new project we're working on right now. Right now we're working on a focus group for the current publication series and what's to come, working with millennial entrepreneurs to help them get ahead of the game. So again, that's thefuturistseries.com. You can find us on Twitter at @TheGreatDocks.